Good afternoon, dear students. I hope all of you are aware about the first term online examination for academic year 2020 and 21. Today or tomorrow, you are going to get the exam portion and as well as the pattern also. Already, you got the timetable. Okay. Now, in this class, I would like to revise once again whatever the portion. Okay. Revision in the sense don't expect. Don't expect sir may be going to tell the questions which will come to know, not like that. So once again I am going to revise the whole topic. Okay, then before that I would like to tell about once again the question paper pattern. So actually we are following the pattern for ninth standard. Same how is there for 10th standard, the same the board exam pattern we are going to follow for ninth standard also. So this is a totally 80 marks paper. So just please look here. So there are totally MCQs. So there are totally 16 MCQs on there, and each MCQs carries one marks, and then totally 16. So here these MCQs are including some other things also. Then don't think so all are having the four options. No, some may in the different type like fill in the blanks, okay, or even the rearrangement also, or it is in the form of match the following also. So like that in different way, but totally there are 16 objective type questions are there. Okay, and afterward these students, so short answer type questions, short answer, short answer type questions. See, these are actually there are six questions, and each question carries three marks, and total marks 8. Okay, so there are six short answer type questions are there. Then each question carries 3 marks, and total marks 8. And afterward, dear students, so actually last year it was there, but this year it was increased. I mean it is increased by the boards. That is about the source based questions, source based questions. So actually last time only one questions from source based section, but now this time so there are four questions will come. So really it's helpful for you to score good marks. Okay, so source based questions. There are four, and each source based question carries 4 marks, and then totally 16 marks. Okay. So here actually here again once again all the questions are not carries 1 mark or all 4 mark, not like that. So here also different. Maybe 1 mark question or maybe 2 mark question. Okay, it's like that. And after first long answer type questions. Long answer type questions. So there are actually in board exam 5 questions are there. 5 into 5 each carries 5 marks, and then totally 25 marks, and then 5 marks for map. Okay, and it is including geography and history. So together 5 marks map question is there. But the thing is that this time, I mean for term one, so there is no math question for you. Okay, so that's why. So here now instead of 5 questions, so there are 6 questions and totally 30 marks. Got it, dear students? Got it now? So actually during board exam, I mean in the board pattern, so there are only 5 questions which is carrying each 5 marks. Okay, but 5 marks math question this time is not there, so that's one. So now there are 6 questions and each carries 5 marks and total marks so 30. So in this like this there are 5 different sections, but now this time so you are having 4 sections. So one is that MCQs and it is including the varieties, okay, and short answer type questions and source based questions and long answer type questions. So this is about your question paper pattern. So I hope dear students, so you may got bit idea about the question paper pattern. So this is a completely board pattern. So please keep it in your mind. So here math question also there and here only one question added, okay, but because now this time there is no math question. Is it clear? So now I would like to revise the portion the completely. So first I would like to revise. So once again the political science section. What is democracy and why democracy? Okay. You all of you knows that already we learned about this chapter. Just I would like to revise once again about this chapter. What is democracy? Why democracy? Anybody can you guess please what is democracy? So it is a very simple definition. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Elected by the people. Okay, so that means so in a democratic government the rulers are elected by the people. So this type of government used to call as a democratic government. Because here the government is, I mean the representatives, those who are forming the government, so they are directly elected by the people and they are forming the government and they are running the government. And even so there is the limited time also. So the people they are not going to elect their representatives for lifetime. So their period also very short. So the maximum period of elected representatives are only 5 years. So where we can observe this kind of government that we used to call as a democratic system of the government. So it is very clear. Democracy means so the government is formed by the elected representatives. So here the citizens of that respective country, especially in our country, above 18 years old, a boy or girl, so they are going to cast their valuable vote. So through vote, they are going to choose their representative. And these representatives are going to form the government. Is it clear? So, in a simple definition, dear student, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Got it now? So I think dear students, you please try to understand. We studied the features of democracy. Features of democracy, because already I told that democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. So this raises many questions. Okay. So the statement which I told in a simple or a simple definition about the democracy, so it raises many questions also. The first thing that who are the rulers? So who are going to rule in this definition? See, which officials must be called a democracy? Which officials? Are you getting now? See, which decisions may be taken by non-elected officials in a democracy? So actually the democracy is a government which is formed by the representatives, and also there we can see the administrative sections also, the officials, okay, the government officials. So sometimes the non-elected officials, because the government employees or the government officials, so they are actually appointed by the government but they are not elected by the people. And sometimes these non-elected officials also going to take decision. Got it now? And the another, dear students, what kind of election? So I told that so they are elected by the people, they are elected by the people. Then what kind of election constitutes a democratic election? So election ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು? how it should be there if you are going to call as the democratic election. Okay, so this is the another thing. See, then who are the people who can elect the rulers? Who are the people who can elect the rulers? Before I said according to Indian constitution in our country, so the UAF, that means universal adult franchise, that means vayaskara matadana paddhati, so 18 or above 18. So here, should this include every citizen on an equal basis? Can a democracy deny some citizens this right? Whether it's provided for all citizens, whether it's a deny, this also we needs to be. And dear students, democracy is a kind of a government which is actually kind of what we call now form of government. Kind of a form of government is a democracy. So, what kind of form of government we used to call as a democracy? See, can elected rulers do whatever they want in a democracy? Now we are actually observing some in some cases. So the elected representatives are the rulers. So they may doing whatever they want because this is a democracy. Whether that is right or wrong. See, a must and democratic government functions with some limits. Is there any limits or it should be there any limits to work? See, is it necessary for a democracy to respect some rights of the citizens? What about the rights of the citizens? So, like this, there are so many questions are arise when we are going to discuss about with this definition. So, there are many questions arises in this way. Understood now? So, let us discuss about one by one with the features of the democracy. See, the first thing that in a democracy, this is one of the most important feature of the democracy, major decisions are taken by elected leaders. So, who are going to take major decisions in a government? So, here in a democracy, major decisions by elected leaders. Then, just you can imagine or you can recall what we studied with to understand this concept with the example of Pakistan under the leadership of General Parvez Musharraf. So, General Parvez Musharraf, he was one of the military officers, so who led a military coup in October 1990. Then afterwards, what happened? So, General Parvez Musharraf, so he was overthrew a democratically elected government in Pakistan. And General Parvez Musharraf, he was declared himself as the chief executive of the country. See that. So later what happened? So he was changed his designation to president later. So he was changed his designation instead of chief executive as the president of the nation. So in 2002, he was held a referendum also in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. But how he was actually conducted this referendum, that is also a very doubtful. See, the Pakistani medias and even the human rights organizations and even the democratic activists, so they were all said that this referendum was based on malpractices. It is not actually conducted in a proper way. It is completely based on malpractices and fraud. Then after that, what happened? In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order. So according to this legal framework order, so that amended the constitution of Pakistan. See, it was according to that when he was issued a legal framework order and that amended the constitution of Pakistan. And according to this order, the president can dismiss the national and provincial assemblies. See that. So according to this order, the president of the country can dismiss the national and provincial assemblies which are directly elected by the people. But here, General Parvez Musharraf was not elected by the people. Okay. See, the work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by the National Security Council. So especially which is dominated by military officers. See that. Then after passing this law, what happened? Elections were held to the national and provincial assemblies. So Pakistan has had elections and elected representatives have some powers, but what about the final authority? So the final authority or the final power, it's completely rests with some of the military officers and with the General Parvez Musharraf. So clearly there are many reasons why Pakistan under General Parvez Musharraf should not be called a democracy. So there were many reasons. If you are observed, so we cannot call the government of which was actually formed by the General Parvez Musharraf. So there is no doubt this is not actually the democratic government. But let us focus on one of these. Can we say that the rulers are elected by the people in the Pakistan? No. See, people may have elected their representatives to the national and provincial assemblies, but those elected representatives are not really the rulers because they are all under the control of the General Parvez Musharraf and they cannot take the final decisions. The power to take final decisions rests with army officials and with General Parvez Musharraf. And how can we call this was a democratic system and then democratic government? And none of them they are not elected by the people. Whether General Parvez Musharraf, whether the military officials, so none of them they are not elected by the people. So this happens in many dictatorships and monarchies. So they formally have an elected parliament and government, but the real power is with those who are not elected. Of course, there is a assembly. There is the what we call the formally they are conducting the electing the parliament and so on so things. But what about the real power? So the real power is with non-elected people or the non-elected persons. So in the previous chapter we learned what happened and so on so things in that. Okay. So dear students, this type of government, so we cannot call as a democratic system of the government. So in a democracy, the final decision making power must rest with those elected by the people. I hope dear students you may understood and recalled once again this one. And the second thing, free and fair electoral competition. So election should be there. Electoral competition should be there. So how it should be there? The process of election. So this is also very much important. See, let us even we are going to study this with the example of China. One is one of our neighboring country where we can observe the communist government. See, in China, elections are regularly held after every 5 years for electing the country's parliament. Of course, dear students, so they are conducting regularly every 5 years once to elect the country's parliament, which is called as a Kwango and mean Daibeo Dai. That means National People's Congress. This is what the parliament of the China. See, the National People's Congress has the power to appoint the president of the country. So this National People's Congress have the power to appoint the president of the country. And it has nearly 3,000 members elected from all over China. The parliament it was including so about 3,000 members those were from all over China. See here some members are elected by the army. See here again some members are elected by the army and before contesting election a candidate needs this is another one thing the approval of the Chinese Communist Party whoever it may be if they are going to contest in an election means the candidate must approved by the Communist Party I mean the Chinese Communist Party. Otherwise, so they are not allowed. So it is very much compulsory. A candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. So only those who are members of the Chinese Communist Party or eight smaller parties allied to it were allowed to contest elections even held in 2023. The government is always formed by the Communist Party. So we know the reason why always the government is formed by the Communist Party. So since its independence in 1930, so India got independence in 1930. So since its independence in 1930, so there are the another one example which we are going to learn now, Mexico. So since 1930, so the Mexico holds elections after every 6 years to elect its parliament, especially its president. So the country has never been under a military or dictator's rule. But until 2000, every election was owned by PRI political party. PRI means that is the name of the political party. That means Institutional Revolutionary Party. So here the opposition parties did contest elections but never managed to win. Whether what about the opposite parties? So of course they're contesting the election, but they're so here the government, I mean the Mexico, the PRI political party was using so many dirty tricks to win in the election. For example, here the government offices and officials, even the school teachers are also called their parents to cast their vote, especially for the PRI. And also at the last moments during election or after the election, the booths also they are going to be changed. The booths were shifted from one place to another place in the last minute also. See, in this case, whether can we consider this is the best way, whether in China, whether the way of conducted election in Mexico? No. See, a democracy must be based on a free and fair election, where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. Understood now? So this is one thing. And the next very much important one key feature of this democracy, I mean the democratic system, that is about one person, one vote, one value. One person, one vote, and one value. See here, in a democracy, who are it may be. So in India, we are following UAF, Universal Adult Franchise. So according to that, so everyone, the citizens above 18, a boy or girl, so they are going to cost. The constitution provide the right to vote for every adult. Okay. Some of the countries are there. So where they are, and even, so there is no different value also. Even whether you are going to cast your vote, whether the government official, whether MLA, whether any representative, whether the president, whether the prime minister of the country, whether the Supreme Court judges, whoever it may be in a different position. So from the president to the common people. So their vote also the same. There is no inequality. So one person, only one vote, and it has one value. So there is no difference. So in Saudi Arabia, dear students, women do not have the right to vote till today. The Saudi Arabia, okay. And Estonia has made its citizens rules in such a way that people belonging to the Russian minority find it difficult to get the right to. So in Estonia, this is what the difficulties. Okay. And in Fiji, there is also different. So the value of the vote, an indigenous Fiji has more value than that of an Indian Fijian. So there is the difference. See, actually democracy is based on a fundamental principle of political equality that gives us the thought feature. Especially in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have the same or one value. Are you getting these, students? And the next one, that is about rule of law and respect for rights. The rule of law and respect for rights. So especially we are studied this key feature with the example of Zimbabwe. So especially the president Zanu PF political party and President Mugabe. So what is that situation? Then these are all important, and finally we can say that democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Are you getting these, students? So here the democracy, in a democracy, rulers elected by the people take all the major decisions. And elections offer a choice and fair opportunity to the people to change the current rulers, of course. And this choice and opportunity is available to all the people on an equal basis. And the exercise of this choice leads to a government limited by basic rules of the constitution and citizens' rights. So the next class we are going to continue. Thank you. Have a nice day.